that we have found the body.
I'm gonna pass out. Can you get me some help? Can you get me some help?
Yep,
Can you
there's
get
some
me
people. Okay.
Help! Oh my God! Give me some help! We're out! We're out! We're out! Help me, please!
A mother just realized her 16-year-old daughter had been murdered in cold blood. After receiving a tip from locals in a remote area of Burner Basin, near Elko County, Nevada, police rushed to the scene and discovered something horrific. The body showed signs of strangulation, marking the start of a tense investigation into a killer they knew almost nothing about. The situation became even more chilling when one of the officers recognized the family. Detectives were now faced with piecing together the truth from a tangled web of clues, threatening messages, multiple potential suspects, and the last known vehicle the victim was seen in. On Monday, March 8th, a woman named Alicia called the police to report her 16-year-old daughter missing. Her name was Britney Ujlaky. Britney was a bright, happy teenager living with her father, Jim, in Elko County, Nevada. She loved horses, spent much of her time outdoors, and dreamed of joining the Navy after finishing school. That Sunday began like any other. Jim had band practice, and Britney often tagged along, enjoying the music, joking around, and spending time with the other musicians. While the band played, she sat nearby snapping photos and chatting with friends on Snapchat. At some point, she told her dad that her friend Bryce was coming to pick her up. She promised she'd be back before him. Jim didn't think much of it. Bryce was someone they trusted and had known for years through rodeo events. But later that evening, around 7:30 p.m., Jim returned home to find Britney missing. Her phone went straight to voicemail. He called her mother, Alicia, who also couldn't reach her. That's when panic set in. Britney always kept her phone on. They started contacting friends, and hours passed before Bryce finally answered. He claimed he had dropped Britney off at Spring Creek High School to meet someone new, a tall, white man with a cowboy appearance, driving an old green Ford F-150.
Is it son or daughter?
Daughter.
Daughter?
Yeah.
Okay. What is daughter's name?
Brittany, you want to get a picture? Her friend that had her. I talked to him. He dropped her off at the high school down here at 4 o'clock with some guy. And I go, what guy? And he goes, I don't know. She just said my new friend. Tall, white, cowboy-looking guy with a green truck. And now nobody can find her. None of her friends. Her phone's not on.
Okay.
At that point, Bryce was the last known person to see Britney alive. Police asked him to stay after school so an investigator could speak with him face to face.
Told me she could meet me at Angel Park because she said her dad was doing band practice. And then went to town, called her when I got into town on 5th, and then picked her up at Angel Park, drove around, went up towards Mountain View, asked what she wanted to do. Said she had no idea, said, why don't we just go drive around to Spring Creek since we got more room over there. So we went back over the hill, just started chatting, talked about her finishing school, how school was going for me, kept driving around, and then we were over in the horse palace section, and my dad called me asking if I could come back home. So I told her I needed to go, asked her if she wanted me to just drop her back off at Angel Park, and she said that she wanted me to drop her off at the high school to meet her new friend, and said her dad was going to pick her up later. So then
That green Ford F-150 was now the only lead investigators had.
Came over here, pulled in right over there, gave her a hug and stuff, and then she got out. I pulled out and then started heading that way. And the F-150 was over there, but I didn't know that was where she was going at that time. And then got about right towards where it opens up, and then looked back, and they were both standing outside the truck. And then I got to the turnout.
The Elko County Sheriff's Office issued a press release and began tracking Britney's phone. Eventually, it pinged near a remote area, Boyd Kennedy Road. Deputies rushed to search the area as friends and family organized their own searches. Investigators pushed. Bryce stayed consistent.
Were there for how long?
Jumped off for 4:30, so that's three and a half hours.
I'm sure that you didn't drive around for 3.5 hours. That's a waste of gas.
No, I drove around for 3.5 hours.
Okay. That's all you did for 3.5 hours? That seems really odd that you just drive aimlessly around.
That's what I do almost every day. I was in my Chevy.
What's your Chevy?
It's a 93 Chevy 1500. Sorry, Silverado.
Single cab or double?
Single. Single with a long bed.
So you just drove around, you didn't stop anywhere?
No, we didn't stop at all. We literally just kept doing circles.
As the hours passed with no sign of Britney, her mother took matters into her own hands. Alicia printed over 500 missing person flyers. Her daughter's photo flooded Facebook. The tip line rang every 2 to 3 minutes. Then, 36 hours after Britney vanished, everything changed. Alicia received a chilling text from an unknown number. The sender claimed they had Britney. They demanded $7,000 or they would kill her. They said she had been drugged and was dying. Detectives immediately warned Alicia not to respond as they traced the number. While the search continued, 2 locals made a horrifying discovery.
Their footprints that are going in and out, and I'll get a picture of their tread marks. Basically, she face down, pants down. She's got black heels on, like boots on. Let's grab. We'll get tire print from them, and then also take their shoe prints because they went in there. Okay, and for exclusion.
Exclusion purposes, yeah. Sounds good to me.
Sorry, you guys got to go through this. This is what I do.
The worst part is I know her dad.
Britney Ujlaky had been found, and the case was no longer a missing person investigation. Detective Stake, who was supposed to meet with Alicia to review the ransom messages, now had to deliver the worst possible news before heading to the crime scene himself.
Body.
I'm gonna pass out. Can you get me some help? Can you get me some help?
Yep, there's some people. Okay.
Give me some help. Oh my God, give me some help. We're out. We're out. We're out. Help me, please.
Now, let's go back to the crime scene with Detective Stake and see what investigators discovered. The first thing that stood out were bloodstains in the middle of the road. Several patches of dirt were soaked in blood. At the edge of the roadway, drag marks led away from the stains straight to a body partially covered by a loosely draped blue tarp. When officers pulled the tarp back, they found the body of a young girl lying face down. There was a puncture wound on her neck, with pooled blood nearby. Just north of the body. Investigators found a keychain engraved with the name Britney. Nearby, Sergeant Fisher spotted a pair of white Apple earbuds hanging from a sagebrush. And not far away, a used condom lying in another bush. About half a mile from the body, deputies discovered a severely damaged phone. It appeared to have been smashed and thrown from a moving vehicle. It matched the description of Britney's iPhone, 10R. The body was sent for autopsy. Dental records later confirmed the devastating truth. It was Britney. The first person informed was her father. He immediately called Alicia, but she already knew. Britney's brother, James, woke up to a flood of condolence messages. At first, he refused to believe his sister was gone. He described feeling numb, completely lost. Soon, the news spread everywhere. Bryce, the last person to see Britney alive, posted a message on Facebook after learning what had happened. Now, investigators began retracing every step with the detective Stake, examining each piece of evidence that might lead them to Britney's killer. The first focus was the threatening ransom messages Alicia had received. After tracing the number, police discovered it was spoofed and not even from Nevada. Based on the writing style and phone location, detectives concluded the messages were a scam with no direct connection to Britney's murder. They believed the sender had likely obtained Alicia's number from Facebook. Person behind the messages was never identified. Detective Stake then traveled to the coroner's office, hoping the autopsy would provide answers. The results were heartbreaking. Britney died from strangulation and severe blood loss caused by a puncture wound to her neck that severed a carotid artery. A rape kit was performed. Samples were taken from her neck and from under her fingernails. She also had bruising on her hands, clear signs she had fought back. Detectives rushed all evidence to the crime lab with an urgent request. Process everything. As fast as possible. While waiting on DNA results, detectives turned to the most promising lead so far, a man known only as JTA Cowboy. A green Ford F-150. With the ransom texts ruled out, investigators believed the motive was sexual, making the hunt for JT urgent. Police tracked down every JT in the area who owned a green F-150. 2 potential matches were identified. Both were thoroughly interviewed and both were cleared. With no suspect, investigators shifted focus. They pulled surveillance footage from businesses near Spring Creek High School. They hoped to spot the green F-150. Instead, something else appeared. Bryce's blue Chevy truck. The footage showed it passing the entrance to Spring Creek High and heading straight down Boyd Kennedy Road. The same road where Britney's body had been found. Investigators realized they may have been misled. They called Bryce back in. Officially to access his phone data. Unofficially, they wanted his DNA.
Straight across the parking lot. Saw her over at the F-150 with someone, and that was it.
So, again, I'm just asking for clarification, because the deputies told me that initially when they spoke with you, you had provided a description of someone that may have been the driver of that truck?
They kept saying I gave a description, but literally the only thing I saw was a cowboy hat. That was it.
Okay, so you couldn't tell if he was tall, short, fat, skinny, anything like that?
The hat looked towards the top of the cab, so I said that, and they took it as tall. I'm like, that's why I kind of, after that last officer, not in a bad way, but I kind of just stopped saying stuff because it kept getting twisted around, and I kept hearing different versions of what I said.
Well, that's why I want clarification.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I just want to make sure.
No, but all I saw was a cowboy hat, and that was the only identifying mark that I could make.
Okay, so he wasn't outside of the truck.
No, he got, when I was over here, they were both standing outside the truck. But then by the time I had gotten right in front of the high school on the highway, the truck was...
Bryce remained calm and at ease throughout the interview as officers pressed him for yet another account of his story. He denied any form of sexual relationship with Britney, claiming he only saw as a little sister.
Submit.
Thank you.
A buckle swab just for your DNA.
What's a buckle swab?
So it's essentially just 2 Q-tips. You can do it yourself. They're a Q-tip about as long as this pin. You rub it on the inside of your cheek, and then you take the other one and rub the inside of the other cheek. We put it in a box. That way we have your DNA. It's suspected, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was some kind of sexual activity, what they're suspecting.
Okay.
Not saying that you were that person and you have no reason
No,
to have your DNA in there, but you're the last person that we know of that was with her when she was alive.
Yeah.
Basically for you, it'd almost be like an elimination, kind of like, hey, this isn't our dude.
No, I have no problem.
Okay, man. Be right back with you.
Eventually, he was asked to provide a DNA sample. 4 days later, the results came back and they were a complete match. Bryce's DNA was found inside the used condom, while Britney's DNA was identified on the outside. Bryce was summoned once again for a final interrogation.
I called her little sis for about the last 2.5, 3 years, but she called me big brother since probably about right after the first year that I met her, but one of the closest people to me. She was, a lot of people didn't like her for a lot of reasons, but she was very blunt and kept to who she was, even if a lot of people didn't like that. So that was why a lot of people in Spring Creek didn't like her, just because she was extremely honest. No, she was always happy. She would get in a lot of actual fights, but then a month later she would be best friends with the person she got in a fight with. She knew almost everyone.
As the questioning grew more aggressive, he slowly began to crack.
Crying too.
Now, you told me before that you and Brittany had never been intimate in a sexual way.
No.
Okay, what if I said I had evidence that shows that that might not be accurate either?
I'm not lying. I've never kissed. I've never had sex with Brittany. Besides hugging and I've never had sex or any intimate relationship with Brittany.
Okay. Have you ever watched TV and seen DNA comparisons?
No. I mean, I've watched crime shows, but haven't really paid attention to it.
So, you gave a DNA sample, right?
Yes.
Okay. We found a condom. All right. And we found Brittany. And we have Brittany's DNA, we have your DNA, and we have a condom.
That can't be.
It is.
Listen. I've never had sex with Brittany, I swear. I've never had sex with Brittany.
Okay. So then explain to me how...
I don't know. I'm freaking out right now because I've never had sex with Brittany.
Okay.
I've never had
explain
sex.
To me, condom has your DNA on the inside and her DNA on the outside. Because that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense, and I don't...
And you can understand my concerns that, you know, I've been truthful with you, okay? And I know,
Sure.
I know this is really stressful, okay? I can't imagine where you're at, all right? But we'll get through this together, okay? And I need you to help me help you, all right? And the biggest concern I have is you could see that we have some footage that kind of contradicts what you said.
Yes, sir.
You've got a condom that was recovered near Brittany's body. And it has DNA on it with both you and Brittany. Okay, and you told me that you guys had never been intimate. All right? There's
Sure.
only one way that DNA could have gotten on that condom that way.
I'm aware of that.
And you have a pattern now of lying. You were deceptive to Detective Fisher because you got scared. You just admitted that.
I admitted I was
and
scared, yes.
Your timeline doesn't match up. The other people we've talked to, their stories don't match with yours.
What do you mean they don't match with mine? Am I allowed to ask that or no?
No, absolutely.
No, you can ask.
Yeah, there's just some issues with the time, okay, and things like that. But the thing I'm concerned about right now is if you were in my perspective and you looked at all this, what would you think?
That I did it to Brittany.
Okay. If you were me, okay, how would you explain the condom?
I don't know.
If you were me looking at that as a detective.
His story unraveled, becoming increasingly inconsistent, and he struggled to keep track of his own lies.
It was extremely odd. Brittany was being literally the only time Brittany was being really flirty for some reason throughout that day. So we kissed, and I had gotten a blowjob. It was through a condom, but then after I was done, she was the one who took the condom, and then thought she threw it out of the truck, and then that's...
Where did that happen at?
That first road all the way down Boyd.
So...
not all the way down Boyd. Thought she just threw it out the window because she was the one who pulled it off, and then... Because I had thrown the wrapper and stuff out this driver window, so I thought she just threw it out the passenger side window.
So where were you seated in the vehicle while she was giving you the blowjob?
In the driver's seat.
Okay, and where was she at in the vehicle when she was giving you the blowjob?
Kind of like bent over the bench seat in a sense, like kind of just leaning over.
Okay. And that happened about right here?
Yeah.
When I was at the scene with Brittany, I found a condom, or one of our people found a condom that was near where Brittany was at. And there was also a condom wrapper that was on the roadway as well.
Okay.
And that condom that I told you about was much closer to where Brittany was found. And this is not where Brittany was found. Okay, I just told you, I just want the truth.
No, I'm telling the truth. That's where it happened.
Now, he claims he actually had relations with Britney, but it's not enough to save him from what's coming.
I dropped her off with somebody, but I don't know who it was. And he actually had met us on Boyd, and I didn't actually meet the guy or anything, but because he met us up here.
Okay.
I don't know where, somewhere over here is where Brittany and I actually had sex. I literally dropped her off with the guy literally in the middle of the road and drove off, and
It's okay. We'll get through this together. Okay? You and I will get through this together. Alright? So just take a second and then tell me the truth, okay?
Everything that I've told, except mess ups on the timeline, is true. That was the exact same truck that I saw. I honestly couldn't tell you how the condom was that close to Brittany's body. I don't know how that happened, because Brittany was still alive by the time I had dropped her off on the road.
At this point, his lies were just all over the place, but he still had one more pathetic escape plan up his sleeves.
Which Brittany gets new friends every month, and I didn't really think much of it.
You've told us several different versions, okay?
Yes, sir.
Do you really expect me to believe that you met a guy after you guys had had sex and you just dropped Brittany off with him and you don't know who that was? You're a smart guy. I'm a smart guy. Okay.
I've met him, but I honestly don't know who he is.
So I need you to be honest with me. When we started out today, I just wanted the truth from you, okay? And then the story changed. The story's changed again. The story's changed again. Okay? I need to get the whole truth, because once that line crosses, we can't go back, and I can't get that truth from you.
Didn't even know the kid was back in town. It was the Chaz Randall kid is the one who picked her up. Which I didn't even know he was back in town. So I swear it was Chaz Randall, because that kid's kind of distinguishable. But
so you're telling me Chaz Randall met you on the road? I told you.
What?
And you've known that Chaz Randall killed Brittany all this time, and you're just waiting to say something? Do you let yourself be the last person to see her alive? You expect us to believe that I was the last person to see her alive. I've put myself in that position, and I'm going to sit here for a week and a half letting everybody think I was the last one to see her alive when I know who the last person to see her alive is. You think we're going to believe that? You're smarter than that. Listen, okay?
Not kill Brittany. But imagine being in my position trying to explain this.
Well, we're trying to figure out how she ended up dead. Realize she disappeared on the 8th. You've been sitting on this knowledge without saying anything to anybody?
Because I've had the entire town of Spring Creek asking me if I've killed Brittany.
And you might as well have if you didn't say anything. So this is the story that you're going to stick with?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, stand up and face that way. Separate your feet and put your hands behind your back.
In the end, Bryce was completely exposed for his horrific crimes. Investigators uncovered additional evidence that finally tied him to the murder. Snapchat photos recovered from Brittany's phone showed the two of them together in Bryce's truck at a time when he claimed he had already dropped her off. Even more damning, GPS data from Bryce's truck placed him driving back toward Stream Creek just 1 hour after Brittany's final recorded movements. It was later revealed that Brittany had previously rejected Bryce after he confessed his feelings for her. 2 years after her death, Bryce was finally convicted and sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 46 years. Alicia and Britney's father were left in disbelief that Bryce, the person they had trusted with their daughter's life, was the very person who had taken it from them.